Hello world! WayofTime here, bringing to you another episode of Minecraft Invasion. So apparently, well, good thing I didn't make the drawer thing, because one of the quests granted me the appropriate drawer so that I didn't, the drawer key, so I didn't need to make that. It was the controlling thing, which was very helpful. Means that I don't need to be as controlling in my endeavors, but anyways, moving onwards, this allows me to put the unit amount for the various keys that I have, so I don't need to really worry about that. And to assuage your curiosity, I managed to put this to higher priority so that the trash can will actually fill with the trashable materials that I needed to, so we are all good in that regard. So, next thing that we're going to need to do is to finish up the system, because this stuff right here is going to need to go into something a bit better than its current abode. Now if we look at our chest here, it now has a bunch of lily pads, feathers, a bunch of other stuff. I don't think I'm going to eventually use the lily pads. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. That's another conversation, but we're going to have to stow away our useless materials first before we look into that at any amount of whatever. So, let us get ourselves sorted, and then I think our main thing that we'll want to do is start finishing our drawer setup. Yeah, that's a very, very helpful way. I am glad that you have managed to do that. So, what I meant to say is we're going to need to finish up this system, because having all these clay pots going there instead of where they need to be, i.e. in the sag mills, is not very helpful. So, these sag mills are dedicated for all of this stuff, but it might be good to have a general area for general things to go, if that makes any lick of sense. Don't know if it does. I'm gonna go with it because that is all I can do. So let us make a temporary work area here. Do I have any blocks that are not affected by gravity? Not in here, so let's grab just like a stack. A stack will do. There we go. Go out here again and throw these down on the ground so that it can operate as my temporary work area, because I'm going to need to use this area right here. So we got clay buckets that need the sag mill, but we also have all of those dusts, some of which can be smelted, other of which we don't want smelted, or rather cannot be smelted. For instance, the stuff that can't be smelted, we have the obsidian powder, which is only used for these two things, so it might be that they're also only hardened and transparent things. I don't think we will want to use this. Rather, I don't think there's any need to use these types of facades, so we probably shouldn't even bother using that. We can also make a culinary generator for all of that, and we can also make some auto crafting with all the string and sticks that we're going to have for the basic drawer, well, to put the stuff in there, the meshes. But first of all, we are going to need to work on our sorting method, and to that we are going to need a bit more tin, I think. So let us get our tin here. So we got the tin here. There's a few different things that we're going to need. We'll need sag mill locations. And we'll need general use alloy smelters. I think general use alloy smelters. So what happens if we take this? Obviously we're going to need a light source. So I guess we can put that there, and we might as well just put it, I think that's centered. There we go. We can get rid of that now, and that is not very helpful at all. There we go. I think that is good. Now these general sag mills, or rather general machines, that is not very helpful. Come on, give me those. Thank you very much. The general machines are going to need to go here, and we're going to need to sort them up in a different amount of ways. Now let's see what we have here. We have blue input and output going here. So these might actually be our general use, unless we have them as filtered. They are filtered, so there's no point doing that. I think as far as general use, we can do what we had before in the previous world, where we have a temporary chest to hold this stuff in, and then we just simply transfer everything around to the general sag mill, etc. So let us do this. We'll just make a few chests here, and we'll make 2 iron chests. Might as well. We're starting to get some iron, so we... I swear to God. I wish there was an indicator, but I guess some of the charm of that I seem to have duplicated. Oh well. Some of the charm is not knowing when that's gonna happen, so oh well. So let us put these like so. No. Might as well put them here. These are going to be basically our buffer chests, because we don't really have any buffer systems. Item buffer. Well, that explains that, but it basically is the exact same thing, so we don't really need to worry about that with that regards. But we'll have a filter going into these chests. Problem with that is the fact that we can only have so much. Let's see. Let's just change that to one that we don't have, so magenta, temporarily. We'll need something else. Item filter, do we have bigger item filters? Advanced item filter, I think we'll be able to have more items, but we don't have that thing, so I guess we'll just stick with the regular filter for now. The problem with this design is that we can only have so many items going into these chests. So we might want to have a better location for that filtering. So what we can probably do instead... I need to take a moment to think about this. I think what we can do is as follows. Instead of having it on the upper levels there, we can have our chests here instead. That means we can just simply remove some of these blocks and add more conduits so that we can apply the proper input-output that we are going to need. Let's start this going because we are going to need... Might as well make this. That'll be enough for 4, and we will need some of this for some more paper. So... how many filters is that? That is enough for all the filters that we're going to need. Or rather, at least the 4 filters that we're going to have. After this, we're also going to need some more chests. So let us make a stone axe, because we are going to need to fill that thing downstairs, because it is axeless. Don't worry, I axed it. Let's go over here. There we go. Now it's actually working, so that's good. And we got a bit more wood for us to work with, so that is even better. Now we can actually make the chests for the hoppers, because we are going to indeed need those. Oh my god, that every single time. What's over here? Okay, and we're going to need one more set of chests. Might as well. We are not going to be wanting for chests, that is for sure. So let's wait for this final template. There we go. And we shall make our hoppers. Might as well put the chest down. Go like this. Maybe I should check if I'm muted. Why did that not work? Release. There we go. Okay, got all 4 hoppers, and now we're going to need to transform them into filters. There we go. So each filter is able to handle 5 items. So insert, change it to red, even though that is not the ultimate channel that we're going to have it. What channel are we going... Well, this is going to need to be on the green, but it's only going to be able to have a few different things. So input-output. Sorry, needed water. So it's going to take from the green channel, because that's where the main bus of items go. We're going to need to take items from the green network. Going to need to take items from the green network, and I'm going to need to set this so that it's actually like powder tin, etc. So let's whitelist this so that it's only able to handle that. So that's good. Gonna need to return the feathers to their rightful location because obviously having these feathers is not very helpful right now. There we go. Now one of the problems is that this has... No, that's not a problem. This has a like a 4-item limit of transfer, but it's not going to end up being a problem. So we have at least powder tin in there. So powder tin, crushed diamond, gold grit. Those are 3 of the things we need. There and there, so we'll throw those items in here. We can only put 2 more items, so we have silver grit and nickel. We also have lead though and glowstone, meaning we are going to need to have a second filter going here. So let us set this up so it's insert with the filter. We're going to want to put nickel grit here. That means the feathers is going to need to get back out of here. And we also need to put the silver. Was it just the silver left? We had silver, nickel. What is the remainder? Lead. Okay. Have a bit of a lead foot there, but okay. So that is all of the things that need to be smelted. So all the stuff in here needs to go directly to our smelting area, so we need to make ourselves a channel for smelting. We have red as furnace in on my notebook. No, wait. That must be from the previous world. Because I don't think I have a red channel. Let's just see all of them. No, let's just see item conduits. Do I even have a red channel in use? I don't think we do. So let's make red furnace in. Because we might as well stay consistent. That's an output, which I don't think we're using the item output for this right now. Could be wrong, but whatever. So let us make, assuming nothing bad happens, we'll put red as our furnace in. We'll need to eventually add some stuff there. Do we have any item conduits? No. Okay. So, for the extract, we'll have red, and it'll be always active. Let's see if this goes anywhere. It doesn't go anywhere right now, so that means it's good. So most of the outputs for smelting, unless we need a dedicated system, is going to go back to our green line. So the output for our furnaces, which we're going to need to make in a second, are going to need to go to the green line. So let us set up the furnaces, which are going to need to be made. We'll put that down later. So furnace. We'll go with the Ender IO furnace because it seems like it's the simplest. Wait, what's the name of this? Alloy smelter, okay. Alloy smelter requires all this mess again, so we're going to need the iron for that. We're going to need the basic machine, so the basically a lot of stuff, which I think I should start mass producing some of these components because they are going to prove useful. Canola, raid difficulty 6. I'm not sure what that's going to entail for my innards, but I guess we're going to have to find that out later. Okay, our item, okay, that's fine. Next thing, though, is, we're also going to have to worry about the processing for this stuff, but we'll worry about that at a future point in time. Let's stay focused. Redstone, I think we got a bit of that. That is good enough. We are also not worrying about the water right now. Let's make the capacitors. So, whoa, we got 5 of them. We're also going to need our iron as well as our... We're going to need a lot of iron. We also have iron rods. So iron rods can be used for all of the iron bars that we are going to need. There we go. I think that's all the iron bars we'll need for 4 machines. We might want to make more, but that's all we're going to get, aren't we? Yes. So 16 of this. Probably... Oops, that was all of it. Let's make 2 machines. So 2 machines, that means we need 7 of these. Stop doing it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I keep on shift clicking, trying to get it out, but apparently it's not working, so I should stick with what I know. We're also going to need to make 2 cauldrons, 6 furnaces, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is going to blow up anytime soon. 2 cauldrons, yes, and we're also going to need some more iron. Do we have any more iron in here? No, this might actually be the last iron we have, which is a bit of a problem actually, because if we don't have any more iron, we are going to need to start processing the iron that is currently in there, and I don't have an automated system yet for that. So let's stick with the single furnace, because I think that is all we're going to manage at this point in time. Let's put that in there. There we go. Boom, boom. 2 machine frames, please. So let's actually craft those properly. There we go. One of these. Alloy smelter, good. And all that we need to do is set this up properly. So that means insert and extract. So for our insert, we'll want to have it as our red line. So red line, insert, copper grit. Right now, that works. Furnace, we'll want furnace only, so now it's working on processing the copper. And the extraction is going to be automated. There. So now this copper is going to need to be extracted to its proper location, which is going to eventually be this, but that is going to require a bit more in the way of drawers. We need to pull down our drawers properly so that we have all the space that we can get. In that order, let's do... No, we don't want to do that. Why am I doing that? Why did you do that way? You have a much more efficient method, and I thought you had wood in there. There we go. Get that processing, and there we go. 24, good enough for me. Now, I know this isn't the most efficient storage method available. Ooh, drawers. What type of drawers do we have? We have basic drawers, which might offer more storage. Holds 8 stack per drawer. No, we're not wanting for space, so let's not bother with that. So now we're going to need to put all these down. So that. We got our obsidian. That is a problem. The problem is the fact that we might get some non-smeltable stuff, or rather smeltable stuff in here. So that means we are going to need to set the priorities of these to a higher level. There we go. Let's set them to an insertion of 2. That means it will go to those first, and we won't have to worry about the other stuff in that regard. This is still processing, and will continue to process because we are going to need some more drawers, because we have all of this stuff, some of which is going to need to get away. We have a lot of copper grit there. Do I not have copper on any of these? Gold, gold. We do not have any copper. Interesting. So let's get the copper grit on our system here. So we should start seeing copper eventually once this is finished emptying out all of the other stuff. This, I hope, gets gotten rid of ASAP because I'm not going to need it. I am not a sap, or at least that's what I want to say. So, now that that is at least working partly, we should continue... No, we should finish up getting all those done, I think. That might be the most efficient stratagem for all the stuff that we need. That is not all the drawers that we need, though. So, just putting... there we go. There we go. So, okay, finally we're getting that done. I think lily pads are the last thing that is wanting, so let us actually get all of the other stuff done. Means I am just going all over the place. I am sorry, but that is essentially all I'm going to be able to do at this point in time. I think that's enough for all the drawers. If it's not, well, I guess we're going to have to live with our decisions in life. 5, that's enough for me. So, once we get all these drawers done, we'll see what we have. We might want to put this in a more organized format, but for now, I think this is a perfectly acceptable method of all of our stuff. Obviously, we're going to need to have more drawers once we finish our processing step, because this is still making nickel grit, and this is still, well, gritting good, but I think we're good. Now the next step is the fact that we don't want all of this going to our drawers, because flower pots can be processed into clay. Clay is useful because it's one of the things that's needed for the bricks, etc. We might want to start processing that, and in order to process that, we're going to need to make sure we have a dedicated sag mill, right? Sag mill, yes. Sag mill is going to require one of these. 4 iron, we are missing out on that though. That, my friends, is what we're missing out on. And it'd be better if I... Come on. Thank you. That's all that gone, and let's see what we have in here. So we should have a bit of iron ore in here. 5 iron ore, good. Not sure what that's used in. Decorative? Decorative, okay, so Lonsdaleite, I think that's the word, is not going to be useful in any of our endeavors. Iridium, I think, is a rare thing that we're going to need to start processing eventually, but we're not going to worry about that right now. So, what is the best way to process you? Smelting sucks. Crushing gets 2. This type of crushing gets 2 plus gold, as well as the crusher. Alloy smelter, obviously not good. Sag mill gives us a lot of stuff. So either powdered tin, or we can go for gold. So gold, I think we're plentiful enough, so let's go with our sag mill, which means we're obviously going to need to finish processing all this stuff. Don't think I need you. So we'll get you out of here. Not going to worry about all the sand that's collecting dust, so to speak. Hee hee. Ah, crud. I can't actually access you. There we go. Two's enough. Two's enough for now. This is going to need to start being processed. Come on. It's not going to allow the iron grit, obviously, because it's currently being used here. So let's get that. And alloy mode is off. Come on. There we go. Because alloy mode is off, we're not able to put multiple items in there at the same time. Therefore, it's going to be problematic. So now that that is done, we can get our... Where'd the iron get sent to? There we go. There we go. We got our 4 iron, which is what we need. We also need the flint. Where is the flint? The flint... 1, 2, 3. Okay. We're going to need 1 more iron. 1 more iron. We got the wood there. We need to construct the piston. We need our cobblestone. I just should make a bunch of this stuff so that it's a lot easier to process. We don't really have any auto crafters. I don't know if we... Oh, yes, we don't need 1 more iron because we need to use an iron rod for any of this stuff that we need. Get out here. My inventory is horrible. It is a horrible, horrible mess. Sag mill there. Got that. So I think we actually have all we need for a sag mill. So sag mill is going to need to be another dedicated thing right here. So our input will have as white equals sag mill. So that is good. We might need to have another thing later on, but we're not going to worry about that. No, insert is not going to be white. Export is going to be white. In out, so... Yeah. So insert is going to need to be... I'll just have it as a temporarily white, but we are going to need to put it to something else. Always active, so insert will be green once we actually apply the proper filter. So what are we trying to throw into our sag mill currently. Currently, we need the flower pots, because flower pots will be processed into clay. However, the problem arises where the fact that we have a few different things. So, we'll want to have a dedicated sag mill for flower pots, sure, because that's an obvious feature that will be very helpful. However, we're also going to want to basically, some of it will have clay, but we don't want to smelt the clay right away. But some of the other stuff we will want to smelt right away, so we are going to have to be cognizant of all of that. So let's put that there. Now we actually have power, but we're also going to need our item conduit right here, which is going to require an insertion, and it's going to be the white channel. The extraction will be on the green channel for now. The reason... okay, yes, that actually works. Okay, the reason why this works is as follows. So say we have all of this stuff, and that will be working very well. Why do you have cobblestone in here? Why did you have cobblestone in there? Oh, I know why. Because it was temporarily on a different channel. Get rid of that. Is there anything else going into here? No? Okay, so this stuff now has a bunch of gravel that I don't want, but that is fine. Flower pots, let's actually get this going. So flower pots is going to be one of the things that we want in here. So there we go. So insertion from the green line, and it'll be level 2. So first things first, flower pots will go in here. Now it'll be extracted on the white channel, going into here, grinding all of our flower pots into clay. This clay will then go into the system and wind up into one of there, yes. So let's throw this back in here, or rather throw it into this system, because that's ultimately where it's going to start. So we have flower pots going there. Now, the other thing we need to worry about is the fact that we're also going to have ores that we need to process in a similar method, and that's where all of this stuff comes into play. So nether quartz, we're probably going to want to do the sag mill as well, because we got that. We might want a secondary material to increase some of the odds, but we'll worry about that at another point in time. Obviously, we'll have sag mill stuff for here, etc., etc., etc. All of its processes, or all of its stuff, will still go out on the green channel, because the green channel is the main bus. It's not only to sorting, or rather, the green line, you can think of it as the sorting line, because the stuff that'll go out of here, say if we have iron ore in here, we'll get iron dust. That iron dust will then go onto the green channel, and it'll see that this is a chest that accepts iron dust. We'll probably need another filter for this to actually work properly. There might be a simpler way to do this than what I'm doing, but it at least works in the scenario that I'm proposing. Then, that iron dust will go to the smelter up here, where it will be processed. Then that'll go back to the sorting line over here, or rather over here, because now there will be an empty spot for it to properly go. Okay, so that should work. Now the problem will be when we actually make the inventory panel. So the inventory panel is what I want to make next, and the problem will then be, can this inventory panel access all the stuff from the drawer controller? Because I think the drawer controller acts as if, okay, these are a bunch of different slots for this one device. If that's the case, we only need to use the remote awareness upgrade onto this conduit. So that'll be good. Now, remote awareness upgrades require silicon ingots and a bunch of other stuff, so we're going to need to work on that. We're also going to need a soul binder for that to work, which needs an ender resonator, so that's the slice and splice, stabilizing ender pearls. So Thankfully, we have a few ender pearls already saved up, but we are going to need quite a few more for that to happen. So I might want to go out into the world to gather some more ender lily seeds and plant them. Or go into the dungeons and actually get ender lilies that way. Because that will never go wrong. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of Minecraft Invasion. If you like what you see, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe to future episodes. WayofTime here, signing off, not even doing any quests whatsoever today. Have a wonderful day. I really need to get these done.